Theosophical Society. Uh, in this August gathering, Sunday morning, this 8th day of August 2021, to understand and realize to the core of our heart the purpose of our life, I thank Indian Section Theosophical Society and Brother Pradeep Mahapatra for giving me this opportunity. We are truly privileged that among us today is Professor C.A. Shinde, who will pioneer and motivate us on the charter of our journey today on the path of life, which may also be referred to as obligatory pilgrimage, which is the topic chosen by Brother Shinde for today's talk. Professor Shinde has retired as zoology professor who worked at Sangli and Pune for 37 years. He is author of textbooks in zoology for undergraduate students. He has been a life member of Theosophical Society and rendering his service to TS since 1975. In Marathi Theosophical Federation also he has served as president for 2 terms. He has conducted seminars, School of Wisdom, Workers Training Camp, study classes at various places throughout India as a national lecturer of Indian section. His many articles are published in the Theosophist, Wake Up India, Theosophical Digest, the Indian Theosophist, and many other Federation journals. He has given many short talks and participated in international symposium during convention at Adyar. He has also compiled the Watchtower articles of Mrs. Radha S. Bernier, the former president, which is published as book titled The World Around Us. Now he is resident of Adyar with his wife and working as the librarian of the Adyar Library and Research Center, and also worked as head of the Department of Editorial Office. He is secretary of Walcott Memorial High School and also participating in various activities of TS and ES at the Adyar. He is also general council member as well as executive council member. He is an international speaker who has visited Sri Lanka and Crotona. Now, without taking much time, I request Professor Shinde to share his thoughts. Shinde ji, please start sharing your thoughts.
Thank you, brothers and sisters. Thanks to all. I will begin with the prayer. Asatoma Sadgamaya, Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, Mrutyorma Amrutangamaya. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Brothers and sisters, today's topic is obligatory pilgrimage. Human journey of life is an obligatory pilgrimage. That is the title of the topic. Our journey is obligatory. So we call ourselves obligatory pilgrimage. Our journey is from Tamoguna to Rajoguna to Satvaguna to Nirguna. That is, we must move from laziness to activity, to restlessness, then to restfulness, and finally reaching to harmony. This is so simple. Even if it is a journey in these words, from laziness to activity, to restlessness, to restfulness, to the harmony, it seems to be simple, but it is a great journey. And pilgrim means a person who travels towards a sacred place. As we know, Char Dham Yatra, Haj Yatra, like that, this journey is a obligatory to a person who travels or who treats this path. So goal and goal maker must be one. Purpose of human life, as we know, is yoga. And yoga nowadays is internationally accepted. Tasmat yogi bhava is the statement which directly indicates the purpose of human life is union of individual soul with the universal soul, as the universal soul is used by the word in Secret Doctrine by H.P. Blavatsky. So journey is according to the divine plan of evolution. And as we know, there are only two kinds of people: those who know this divine plan and those who do not know this divine plan. We say divine plan because it is plan of God. God has a plan, and as it is said at the feet of the master, and that plan is evolution. So we are studying this journey of evolution, journey of pilgrimage from tamoguna to rajoguna to sattvaguna, finally to the nirguna. We are therefore obliged to be the part of that journey, part of that divine plan. And in Theosophy, we study three streams of evolution: physical evolution or biological evolution, intellectual evolution, and spiritual evolution. These three streams of evolutions are simultaneously carried out. Science knows very little about this spiritual evolution and intellectual evolution, but it speaks more about the biological evolution. As we study in third root race, when our form became perfect, when human form became perfect, and when sexes are separated, we become more oriented towards material pleasure. So we are influenced by the pleasure and pain because of our attraction towards the sensual pleasures. I am not intended to go into details of evolutionary process and its impacts on our return journey. In one word, we can say, in this process, we become more and more selfish rather than unselfish. So after individualization, our obligatory journey, which we call return journey, actually started. As we are ignorant, tamoguni, inertia dominated. So we were very lazy and remained for many, many years in a savage state. From third root race onwards, our primitive man became Homo erectus in fourth root race. As we know in anthropology, as the Neanderthal man who was able to stand on two legs. Then in fifth root race, our journey started from personal attitude to impersonal attitude. That started in fifth root race. Attitudes makes much in our psychological transformation. It is therefore our journey hastened in this fifth root race from Homo sapiens, gradually becoming Homo altruistic, and in future it will become Homo divine. it is very fast in this fifth, especially fifth root race, in its fifth sub-race, and moving towards the sixth sub-race with this intention. This Theosophical Society was founded, and in this sixth sub-race, which is beginning now, we have developed global consciousness, global concern, and more moving towards religious spirit. So our mission of Theosophical Society at present, we are asked to deepen our understanding of this ancient teaching, ancient wisdom, timeless wisdom or eternal wisdom, which focuses its attention even on cyclic yugas. Yugas from Satya Yuga to Treta Yuga to Dwapar Yuga to Kali Yuga. In Satya Yuga, our focus of consciousness was on soul. In Treta Yuga, our focus of consciousness was on mind. And in Dwapar Yuga, our focus of attention was on heart. And now in this Kali Yuga, our focus of attention is more on body and its needs. So this is how these yugas and changed, and human focus of attention is also changed. It is said energy flows as per your focus of attention. So in Satya Yuga, if we study deeply the features of Satya Yuga, everyone was created with full soul consciousness, and the average age of humans was about 400 years due to high value of living. There was no illusion that time. Everyone was truthful. There was happiness and bliss everywhere. And in this period, when we were in the soul consciousness, the teaching is given, wisdom is given of 4 Vedas. This wisdom is revealed as a theory of spirituality. Then in Treta Yuga, as mind begins its influence, our soul's battery of reflection become more and more discharged. So it became difficult to fulfill the transcendental needs of the soul. And the average age become reduced by 100 years. So the age lifespan of this Treta Yuga was only 300 years. So there was 25% decline. It was this era of mind, era of intellectual consciousness. Transcendental consciousness was enveloped by intellect, by ego, or by illusion. So another knowledge was revealed due to decline in values. Atharva Veda was recommended to practice. Then in Dwapar Yuga, next Yuga is the Dwapar Yuga. It was an era of heart consciousness. So collective consciousness, what was there in the mind, it was again further declined to 50%, and the average age was 200. Rajoguna become more dominated and will become more and more passionate. People became greedy because their desires were motivated. As illusion was enveloped, competing started. People were more confident respectful and powerful also, because heart was also dominating. And therefore, for some people, wise people, Yajurveda was revealed for right kind of action, and Ramayana, which indicates right human action. So in Dwapar Yuga, Ramayana teaching was given for right kind of activities. Then we came in the Kali Yuga, where Mahabharata and Gita were revealed. Atharva Veda was also given for improving our quality. That is a clue for right spiritual practice. Ashtanga Yoga came in this Yuga. So collective consciousness further declined again by 25% due to lack of understanding. See how the collective consciousness went on declining as we pass from one yuga to another yuga. So the average age reduced to 100 years. Tamoguna dominated. People continued to struggle for not only for safety needs, but also starting fighting egoistically. So this is called era of body consciousness, era of yoga consciousness, and it is in this period Theosophical Society was founded, which began actually the yoga of knowledge, Jnana Marga, and it declared the power of thought and influence of human thought. So it gave a formula. If you control your thought, if you change your thought, then your mind will change. And once your mind will change, your life will change. And therefore, in Theosophical Society, and even in At the Feet of the Master, it is clearly said, if your thought is what it should be, you will have little difficulty in action, especially right action. There has to be a right direction to our thoughts. So, in Theosophy, we propagate thought culture, building of character, that is character building. Then, if we look into the pedigree of apes, I ask now to project one slide of pedigree of the apes. Please. Because it is said, man is nothing but the evolved form of ape. So if we see this slide of the pedigree of the apes, yes. See, this pedigree of the apes, this is the study which we used to do. The apes, can we enlarge it, or you can able to see it?
Sir, this is maximum you can.
Okay then. See, a journey started about 50 million years ago, and Earth by that time, with mineral kingdom, vegetable kingdom, animal kingdom, but without the mammals. And therefore HBB said, mammals, we are not developed from the mammals, but there was previously a first race man who is primeval astral man. The first race was etheric, and the second race, these are the round figures are shown, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are indicating the 5 races. The first race was completely etheric. Second race was astral. So both these races were shapeless. And I am focusing one point of development, that is reproduction. any species is said to be stabilized when it begins to reproduce. So the human species started stabilized by its power of creation, because man has created by the God. If man has created by the God and man is becoming God, so man has that power of creation. He can create another man, but for that, yet that permission was not given for first three races. So the first race was just like amoeba. By fission, it was reproducing. Second race by budding type of reproduction. But from third race onwards, even during the third race, there was spore formation, or from the sweat creation was done. From third race onwards, sexes were separated, and really man now being attracted to each other. The creation, actual creation started. They started producing human beings. But how? By coming together. Even if sexes are separated, they must come together to make a creative force like a God. And that is what it is achieved by separation of sexes. Without separation of sexes, there is no union. Whatever souls are separated by individualization, they cannot come together without this kind of attraction. With this attraction of love, they came together, and the moment when they become yoga, there appears a creative power, and they begin to reproduce like God. So if God has created man, man is also able to create himself in this manner. But the principle is to come together. Whatever part is separated, they must come together. So if we understand this principle, what is it that separated? Deeply we must go. So here, there is the separation of sexes is seen, and we have studied this. But deeper you study, what is it that separates us? Then only you can come to this vision of unity. So in the fourth race, mental activity developed. In the fifth race, social senses were developed. And soon, where the sixth sub-race is started, there the global consciousness has started developing. So in this manner, man is a free agent of nature, but he has to come together, control over his vehicle, but he can gain, like in Japanese famous painting is there, which is depicted. But when we study about the journey, our journey is from to become first ideal man, a eager man, aspirant. Then only we can become a probationary. Then we will be accepted. Then we'll be selected as the son of the master. And thus we are actually initiated on the path of return journey. Then from fifth initiation onwards to sixth, he becomes master. In the seventh initiation, he becomes a Manu, Bodhisattva, and Mahachohan. And then in the eighth, he attains Buddha state, Pratyek Buddha. And in the ninth initiation, he becomes Lord of the world, and finally he has to become silent, and in the 10th initiation
only बंद कर मीनाक्षी वानखेडे speaking बंद कर
he becomes silent watcher. This is how our obligatory pilgrimage. I have shown to the destiny also. Now I would like to show the next slide, which shows what we have forgotten. These are the famous Japanese paintings, Oxford paintings. These are preserved in a temple, Kyoto, Japan. And if you see into the first picture, it shows Oxford lost his ox and he feels himself rootless, homeless, hopeless. But this is what our state is. When we came into this Kali Yuga, we have lost our connection to our spirituality. And we are in a state of reflecting and imagining. Then in the next painting, it is shown, despite of his confusion, he begins his search and he finds some traces of ox. And therefore, he tried to follow those traces, and the word is given here by the master, try and see. Knock the door will be open. These are the inspiring words. So he tried. In the third diagram, he then follows the track and to his surprise finds the ox, but could not tame it, but he could see it. And in the fourth diagram, with his tireless right efforts, he attempts to tame that ox which he has lost. And in the fifth, he succeeds and becomes able to keep it under his control and command. And finally, in the sixth, his struggle is over. He rides on ox and his way to home begins. So relaxed, so he started singing. In the next slide, the seventh, after reaching his home, ox become not only symbolic to him, but he became one with the symbol. And therefore, in the next stage, that symbol is also vanished. And therefore, in the eighth painting, both ox herd and ox disappeared. It is this state of emptiness. It is this state of black hole state, or in Sanskrit, we call it as arupa state. And then in the ninth painting, out of arupa awareness, out of not identifying with the not self, his name, form, passions, all are absorbed in endless changing, like a blossom of tree. Here in this diagram, blossoming of tree is shown, flight of bird is shown, flow of river is shown. They are just going. Therefore, we are asked to look at the blooming tree, flying birds, moving rivers, contemplate on this. This is the state where we have no expectation. Even if we have expectation, they are not fulfilling our expectations. So we can say that we can observe without any expectation to these flowing river, blossoming tree, and flying birds. That is why God has created for our contemplation this nature. And in the last 10th, he experiences real freedom. And when he begins fully himself with nothing to gain or loss, thus he truly become ready. And therefore master appears, and therefore it is said, when disciple is ready, master appears. And when disciple becomes perfect, master disappears. Now we for such kind of jnana marga, which is theosophy, that provides us necessary self-knowledge and removes all doubts. So study is important discipline. To keep our curiosity, to know our journey, study must. Swadhyaya is must. What is required is Tapa Swadhyaya Ishvara Pranidhanani. Tapa means right efforts are needed, study is needed, right knowledge is needed, and after this, we must surrender to that supreme power, Ishvara Pranidhanani. That is called Kriya Yoga. So right knowledge, right efforts, becoming humble, not allowing intellectual pride, and becoming ready to share and care, which are the fundamental principles that are to be followed by a pilgrim who is treating this obligatory pilgrimage. These seems to be simple, but one must study and intellectualize first to know oneself thoroughly, what one is, and not what one want to be. It is essential, therefore, to study man and his bodies, human constituents. Some of the diagrams presentation helps us to understand human principles. Now I would like to share you with showing certain another diagrams, especially of human brain, anatomical. This human brain, if you look at this, which part is developed in man? The lowest diagram is of the brain of man, then rabbit's brain, then lizard's brain, and shark's brain. If we look at this lower gray matter, which is the human cerebrum, that is cortex, where all human thinking capacity, hearing, all listening capacities, etc., all potentialities are there. So that part is more evolved. Next diagram. You can take, in this, the same thing I would like to focus, because if you look these diagrams, you will see how the brain part is developed. Next, we'll go. I want to show this. We have already studied this. Here it is important. This, what happens, this initiation, what we say, this is also a change in our consciousness, dimensional change. If you look at this diagram, it is a famous diagram. It is the unfoldment of consciousness. But in the mineral kingdom, consciousness is more or less dormant. It can just touch to the emotional field, but more or less it is dormant consciousness. But in plant kingdom, it started, consciousness unfolded towards the feelings. Plants can know the feelings of you. And in animal kingdom, it started unfolding to the capacity of thinking and planning. Dogs are their herds, they plan, think, lower mind, little bit started, this thinking capacity came into them. But in human, thinking capacity is well developed, and he is able to go beyond thinking and reasoning and analyzing capacity to the intuitional state. And here, if he want to unfold his consciousness, right efforts are required, Therefore, Patanjali Yoga Sutra helps him, and he can raise himself to the spiritual realm with the help of this intuition faculty. And once this is raised to the Buddhic consciousness, immediately he touches from the personal to the universal. This is how yoga is union of individual consciousness with the universal consciousness. This is a possibility. This is a journey which we have started right from mineral kingdom to spiritual kingdom. This is what our journey is. This is an obligatory journey. We can't avoid, we can't sidetrack also. We can make late. So next slide, where I want to say more about the human brain. The human brain we are not using properly. At least we should have the knowledge of this human brain. We have two hemispheres. Whatever gray matter I shown, it has got two hemispheres, left and right, left brain and right brain, and it is connected by the corpus callosum. There is a nervous connection between these two lobes, and that connection is called corpus callosum. And here there is a neural firing, etc. is going on. Whether we are more active right brain or left brain, that is indicates or it decides the pattern of your behavior. So here it is shown right brain is important rather than left brain. Left brain is more analytical. We can read here, right brain is recognition of complex figures and perfection of abstract patterns, whereas left brain is concerned with perception of significant orders. So abstract patterns and here significant orders. Right brain is synthetic, left brain is analytic, right brain is spiritual, left brain is worldly, right brain is intuitive, creative, whereas left brain is detailed, analytical, like that. Right brain is emotional and left is intellectual. Right simultaneous, but left is sequential, linear. And right brain is artistic, symbolic, whereas left brain is logical, mathematical. Right brain is holistic and left brain is linear. And right brain is spatial, whereas spatial and musical, whereas left brain is speech and verbal. So here we can see, okay, next, it is good. You can take to next slide. Why I am giving the corpus callosum, which connects the right and left brain. This connection is by neurons. And here we have shown the neurons. Neuron is nothing but the nerve cell. So each cell has got a nucleus and cytoplasm. In the neuron, cytoplasm is so elongated, it becomes fiber-like. So it is called axon. So one arm is long, and at the end of that long arm, there are branches again, and those branches are connected with the dendroids of the other. So that connection is shown, how neurons are connected to each other. So meditation establishes new neuronic connection. That is what it is proved. And if you study synergy of mind plus brain and plus heart, I am saying synergy, that is energy of mind plus energy of brain and energy of heart. That is called synergy. Such synergy is very essential. That synergy makes the mind still and stable. Our respiration becomes still and calm. The body becomes quiet and stable along with emotions. Principle that is to be remembered about human form and machine is that mind is Raja, king of senses, controller of senses. That is what HPB says in the Voice of the Silence. So mind is Raja, king. Prana is the king, also king of mind. So mind is king of senses, and prana is the king of mind, and rhythm is the king of prana. So this rhythm is the nothing but sound or laya of inner peace. So Om is a sacred word. If we chant it in Vaikhari, Madhyama, Pasyanti and Para, loudly, without sound, mentally, and being silent, let it vibrate in silence within. Perhaps we can change our neural connection. In Mahatma letter, Master K.H. write to AP Senate that a person can only think in his own grooves, and unless he has the courage to fill up these and make new ones for himself, he must perforce travel on the old lines. See, that is what it is indicated even by the master to the AP Senate. You have to change your neural connection. There are cerebral patterns of behavior in our brain. So changing your habitual thoughts, making new neural grooves is understood by the science and medicine as synaptic pruning. It is called synaptic pruning. Just like we prune the trees, here in the brain we must do this synaptic pruning. That is called neural pruning. This happens all the time when certain cells in the brain reduced or eliminated to allow greater efficiency in thinking and response to stimuli. So when you work to change negative thinking patterns, neural pruning takes place. It is only then you can focus on positive thoughts. So this neural pruning is very essential. The basic information everyone must have to bring new changes in neural connection. That is, we must love our brain. Where our focus goes, energy flows there. That is the principle. You know, 1.5 into 10 raised to 10 neuron communications are there in human brain. Nerve communicates with nerve impulses. And what is nerve impulses, etc.? I am not going in detail. So remember, brain is not computer, but more than the computer. Computer is unable to make aesthetic changes, aesthetic thinking, artistic thinking, or moral judgments. But the spiritual life cannot be mechanized with artificial intelligence. Now, I want to show how can we use our brain holistically. When our brain wave change from beta to theta to neurocortex. So I would like to focus on the brain waves. Just next slide. Here we are disconnecting from outer world is dharana. So when we concentrate, we transmit from beta brain waves to alpha brain waves. When our brain wave change from beta to theta, that gray matter, neurocortex, starts slow down because it transcends our thinking mind and enters into the subconscious mind. It's a autonomic nervous system. Subconscious mind is autonomic nervous system. Most of the activities are involuntary. They are under the control of this subconscious mind. So when we change our brain waves from beta to theta, we can come to this subconscious mind. And this is where our operational system autonomous system present. It is only then our brain works holistically as well as holistically, wholly as well as holistically. So next we can see brain waves we have here. Yeah, okay. What I want to show in this diagram, we are studying the brain waves, etc. Dharana, dhyana, samadhi. Unless we understand this diagram, so above line is not given. Our spirit, soul, and body, universal, impersonal, and personal, spiritual soul, human soul, and animal soul. About 3 lines, whatever it is written. So spirit, soul, and body. Soul is the body of spirit, and body is the body of soul. So our personality is the body of soul, and our soul is the body of spirit. So when we focus our attention from personality to soul, then we can touch to the spirit. In the same manner, our journey is from personal to impersonal to universal. Our journey is from animal soul to human soul to spiritual soul. To understand this, a very nice diagram is given in our Theosophical Society. It is just reflection of monad, spark, will, wisdom, and love. Exactly opposite triangle. Above is the will, wisdom, love. Then the opposite triangle below, and the in between mirror, if we keep, the exact reflection is seen. That is the soul. So soul is Atma Buddhi Manasa. So if you look at this diagram, the upper monad or spark and the lower soul, it is like Damaru in the hand of Shiva. So it should be connected, it should be vibrated together. But unfortunately, our soul is not vibrating with the monads or spirit, but it is vibrating with the its own images or reflection down, which is body. So body is again reflection of the soul, but much limited in the form of thought, desire, and action is the lower triangle. That is called body. So this body is connected with the soul by the antakarana, or we call it as the conscience. So conscience needs to be awake. Keep your conscience awake. Conscience is nothing but the common sense, which is not common nowadays. So let our common sense, inner voice, be awake. Learn to listen to your gut feelings. Then only you can connect with your true nature. We are expected to become real, honest, and beautiful in this sense. So on the below lines, I have shown Homo sapiens to Homo altruistic to Homo divine. Then it is also explained as contented consciousness to unique consciousness to universal consciousness, potentiality to activity to harmony, life, light, and love. So all these terms we use. How we can connect this is very important. Next slide, we can show common discipline program. Even it is applicable to everyone. This is the fundamental one. Yama and niyamas. They are necessary. Unless you practice this, yama and niyama, you cannot cross the bridge of antakarana to the soul. So when we say niyamas are the outer effects, and yamas are the inner effects. So both these need to be balanced. Unless there is balance between outer and inner, there cannot be progress. So these niyamas are, I am not going to explain, but Shaucha is the cleanliness which is important. Santosha, try to be contented. Tapas, do your best, whatever your capacity is, try. And Swadhyaya is the study. That is what self-study, self-knowledge is important. And Ishvara Pranidhanani, you have to be, if you are knowledgeable, you have to be humble, and you must be ready to share with the others. These are the rules to bring right relationship surrounding our nature with the outer world. So all species are in tune with the nature. Only human species is not in tune with the nature because of its not observing these niyamas. Then yamas are the inner balance. That is ahimsa, practice of non-violence. Satya is telling the truth. Asteya is not to steal. And brahmacharya, consciously direct our energy. Unnecessarily, there should not be wastage of energy. Lot of energy we waste in negative thinking. Then aparigraha, avoiding, rather this aparigraha is a kind of not to be a greedy, but we must become a need-based living. There is nothing to possess. Unnecessarily, by our greedy nature, we are more and more possessive. Next slide. So here again, negative energy and positive energy is shown. I am not going to explain this because if we give more positive energy, this needs to be balanced. Just like left brain and right brain. So unless you bring harmony within and without, you cannot travel further. So that is what we must bring this balance so that the tree of life will blossom. Next slide. Same thing I have shown. The life, if it wants to become holistic, there should be harmony within by observing the yamas and niyamas within and outside. That is what this slide shows. I and not I in a dynamic balance. Without this balance, it is not possible. Next. This is the slide, which is already we know well. Only in colored form it is shown. Same thing. You can see here colored form how this rupa or stula sharira, physical body, vehicle of other principles during life at the below, red color. Then yellow color, model body upon which the physical is built. This is called linga sharira. Then emotional or desire body, kama rupa. Then lower mind personality, that is kama manasa. It is connected to the higher mind by antakarana. Higher mind, vehicle of spiritual soul or intelligence. It is called buddhi manasa. Then reincarnating spiritual ego, the watcher, the spiritual soul, buddhi. And finally, atma. Atma is divine principle, pure spirit, the higher self, and finally the divine spark. The same thing is shown, lower quaternary and higher triad, and prana, life or a principle of vitality on the left side. This is what divine spark we must reach. This is what I want to bring before you. We are traveling from this tamoguna to rajoguna to sattvaguna, laya yoga, or you can say becoming one with the universal. I think I tried to bring or comprehend in simple way whatever theosophical knowledge is given that is helpful for us to meditate upon our real nature, that is Atma Buddhi Manasa. Thank you, brothers and sisters, for listening for 1 hour. I have taken more time, I think. If any doubt is there, you can ask.
Hello, Namaste, I'm Maya. I'm Maya from Ernakulam.
Ernakulam, okay.
You said about neural pruning.
Yes.
How is it helpful?
Neural firing.
Neural pruning. That's what you said, no? Neural pruning. And how is it helpful to us?
Neural tuning means, no, I am telling you, neural connections are changed. When you meditate, neural connections are changed, and there is a neural firing between two neurons, because there is a gap that is called synaptic gap, and that is the neural firing, and that neural firing they are helpful for our establishing new neural connections in the brain.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Brother Shinde, for a very beautiful and inspiring talk, and in very simple words, depicting the great journey to be traveled within. Anybody who wants to have some question, who wants to say something, please do.
Good morning, all. Mr. Sindeji, it is very elaborative, and though it is complex, the way you put it is very easy to understand. So we really learned a lot of things today. Thank you for your nice presentation. Keep it up. Thank you, Sindeji.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Collections of wonderful pictures. Very well explained, sir. From where do you get such a wonderful picture, sir? I'm Ajay from Gorakhpur.
Oh, Ajay. It is biological, no? We have in biology,
I
we have
understand it,
studied
sir.
this.
I understand it, sir. And the vibrations of change of the wave, as she has asked you, you have very well explained it. The body always want to get into a frequency, which is this all a frequency, the mental frequency with coordinated. Sir, your diagrams, your explanations are excellent, wonderful, sir.
Thank you, Ajay. You are a zoology professor, therefore you can appreciate.
Yeah.
But in spirituality, what happens in meditation is dharana is getting into narrow focus. Beta waves to alpha waves.
Correct.
But dhyana is getting into open focus, alpha waves to theta and delta waves. That is what it happens in the meditation.
Right, sir. Sir, ethology, we also say that when we teach behavioral science, we teach about those waves. And in neural, when we go to, sir, wonderful diagram, wonderful explanation. And this, your psychocerebral analysis of spiritual advancement was excellent, sir. Was excellent, sir. My regard always. I always enjoy your lecture, sir. Thank you very much.
It is essential to understand when we do dhyana.
Right.
Changes that happens from somebody to nobody.
Right.
And somewhere to nowhere.
Right, sir.
So from linear to no time. This is what it is essential to understand also. And our, you see, Ajay ji, we know brain well. We know brain well, rather we understand whatever brain literature is there. So what we understand, we must put to the others to make it understand. That is what my effort is.
Right. Wonderful, sir. My regard, sir. My regard.
शिंदे सर खूप
चिल्लाल साहेब का
राऊत.
हाँ, थँक यू.
खूप छान झालं लेक्चर.
हो, तुम्ही राऊत साहेब.
हा.
राऊत. थँक यू सर. थँक यू.
शिंदे सर वंडरफुल. आप खूप क्लिअर झाले आयडिया. धन्यवाद. लोखंडे
अशोकराव नमस्ते. नमस्ते.
नमस्ते.
Thank you, Rajiv Mathur, Pradeep Mahapatra. Very well, you gave me this opportunity and helped me in projecting those slides.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Brother Shindeji, for so elaborating talk. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody, for cooperating. If there is no question or something to share, we will close the meeting
Yes, sir.
by prayer.
Taral Munshi ji wants to say something.
नहीं सर, बस थैंक यू सो मच. बहुत बढ़िया रहा आपका, और मैंने वही लिखा है कि आपका प्रेजेंटेशन, हर चित्र और शब्द इतने कनेक्टेड रहते हैं कि आसानी से सब समझ में आ जाता है. अद्भुत सर.
टीचर हूँ ना.
Thank you, sir, for a wonderful, informative, and inspiring talk.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Shikhar ji, thank you.
Catalina. Thank you.
Catalina and Shikhar, both are there.
Thank you, sir. Have a nice day, all of you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Cindy ji. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Such a illuminating talk from such a complex matter. You are describing it in a very simplified way. It's very helpful for us to understand, actually.
Yeah,
Thank you.
That is the purpose of talk we give online, actually.
And sir, about the waves, sir, I want to know that lowest is the alpha and our journey is from alpha, beta, highest is a gamma, isn't it, sir?
No,
Or theta?
I have shown that diagram. You can focus that diagram if it is there.
Yeah.
See, our brain wave change from beta to theta. When they change from beta to theta, our brain becomes slow. Neurocortex becomes slow. And when this thinking mind changes to subconscious mind.
Yes.
And this is where our operating system starts. And it is only then when our brain works holistically, that is what we said. Beta to theta, not delta. Delta is a deep sleep.
Yeah.
It is a deep sleep. So beta to theta is the important movement.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Analytical mind is the barrier. Analytical mind is the barrier. And above analytical mind, only there is 5% conscious mind.
Yes.
And subconscious mind is 95%.
Yes.
And it is controlled by the autonomic nervous system, where programs and habits are there. And they are concerned with the delta and theta waves.
Delta and theta, yes.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Maybe close the talk by prayer. If nothing to share, there is no question, I think. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, Shinde ji again. Thank you, Mahapatra ji, everybody who has shared or who has taken part.
So end with prayer.
Yes. Sarve bhavantu sukhina, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, na kaschit dukh bhag bhavet. Om Shan.
Love, peace, harmony, abundance to all.
Thank
Yeah.
you, sir, for your nice presentation. Thank you, Rajesh ji.
Thank you, Pradeep. Thank you.
Grateful to all the participants who are present here.
Thank you, sir. Very nice presentation
Thank you.
and a wonderful exposition of pilgrimage right from beginning, right from phase 1 to this level. Wonderful, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.